Hey, what's up everyone? This is the Edge Enthusiast. A knifeless man is a lifeless man, and this is the Civivi Elementum in marbled carbon fiber D2. Look at how pretty that is. This is the first knife that I've ever owned with marbled carbon fiber. I can say it looks every bit as good as it did on the website. There's a little bit of some pitting, you can kind of see there. I think that's just normal for the process of marbled carbon fiber. I'm not sure though, so if you know, go ahead and leave a comment, but I'm assuming that's normal. It's on both sides. It's actually worse on the back side. The show side, obviously, it looks a lot better. They probably calculated it that way, but this side has some like milling marks. You can't really see them on the camera, but other than that, guys, I can't praise this knife enough. The only issue I have with it is the size. I wish the full-size Elementum, the one with a little bit of longer handle, I wish it came with marble carbon fiber, because then I would have gotten that. But I was really set on getting this handle material, and I wasn't super hyped about the Elementum at first, but then as soon as I got it, I realized like how impactful this is going to be in the long run. It was, let's see, I want to say this was a $60, $70 knife, and is worth every single penny. For D2, I mean, D2 is good, in my opinion, but where I live, it is very wet all the time. So if you're living on one of the coastal states or in a coastal area, I'd recommend to keep your D2 knife collection to a minimum, unless, I mean, it doesn't matter, but if you're worried about rust, just oil it regularly, no matter what steel it is. Or don't get D2, because D2 will definitely rust on you. In fact, you can see, you can't really see, but I was an idiot, and I did some pressure washing in full rain gear, but this was in my pocket, and somehow there's some little like seedlings of rust starting. So I'm gonna have to scrub this down with like WD-40 or something. Other than that, man, what a great feeling knife. It feels good in your hand. You just got to get it in your hand to know what I'm talking about. The jimping is nice and high. I hate on knives when the jimping is too low and it's just on the handle. I want it to be, even this could be a little bit higher, but I mean, they got it better than most people do. You can really get in there and do some slicey cutting. The blade is, in fact, convex, I believe. It's looking like it's a flat ground right now, but yeah, it's convex grind. And man, it's slicey. It is so sharp. The factory edge was amazing. I did a little bit of honing, just a little bit of stropping to touch it up. And it's just amazing. The edge is very quality. The machining on all of it is quality. And down to the pocket clip. I mean, the pocket, a lot of people, not a lot, but some bigger knife tubers have complained about this kind of protruding pocket clip. And I don't have a huge issue with it. It could be a little bit better, but I never really notice it. In fact, I like it when a knife has a nice wide opening right here, because I want it to go in my pocket easy. And it's not too tight either, so that's a good thing. Like, it's perfect. It's the perfect tension. It's just soft enough to slip on easily, but this is not going to come out of your pocket. And that nice deep carry clip. Now, the one thing I don't like about the clip is this protruding. They didn't countersink that. That's one of my #1 problems with all knives, but it's not a main problem with this knife because it's a problem with all knives. And you know what? A good knife that does the right thing with countersinking, well, it's not even countersinking, is the Boker Kalashnikov. They put it on the underside. Look how flat that is. That's amazing. All pocket clips should be like that. I mean, come on. You can't argue that this is somehow worse than this. I mean, really? Look at that. This little place where the T6s go in, it gets caught on my pocket all the time. And that's it's a good 1/4 of the pocket clip that is not secured in your pocket. So, I don't know, it's just, some knife companies need to update the basics, you know? They got to get back to the basics. And for most of this knife, they did get back to the basics. A flipper, really good D10, really solid D10, guys. This is the best flipper knife I've ever held. It's snappy. The sound, it locks up perfectly. Here. It locks up amazing. It's a whole 50%. I don't know if it had to break in. I didn't really notice a break-in period with this particular knife. It might have a break-in period for you, but man, it's on caged bearings. They're amazing. If you know Civivi, you know their bearings are really, really high quality. Stop pin back here. The flipper has some jimping on it, just enough to really get you started on that right angle to get it shoot open. And it's got the Stonewash. What else? Stonewash D2. I'm not too excited about Stonewash on D2 specifically because of the rust issue, because now this has got a bunch of little micro crevices and valleys that are going to fill with microscopic rust over, you know, the next year. I've owned this for 1 year exactly, just a few days ago, because I got a notification on Snapchat that showed that I took a picture of this a year ago. And bought it from Blade HQ, best knife dealers in my opinion. Blade HQ and Knife Center, the ones I've bought the most knives from. I don't know why I keep closing it with this hand. It's just easier because my thumb is really sore. It's pretty fall shutty. It's kind of drop shut. You got to give it a little bit of, might just be mine because I carry this a lot and it's a bearing knife. So, you know, any little hair is going to really mess up the pivot if it gets in there. If you oil it, it's going to attract a little bit more. I haven't had a huge issue with that, but I've seen some things on the r/knives subreddit that some people really hate bearings, and I'm not sure why, because personally I love bearings. They're really, really smooth. I've never felt a phosphor bronze washer knife that has felt this smooth. So maybe I don't have enough experience, but man, this is smooth, guys. Like if you want your first bearing knife, go with Civivi, because it's budget. WE knives, reputable brand, the budget brand of WE knives. That's what Civivi is. They're kind of more budget models, but in my opinion, it's the exact same quality. Just maybe some lesser steels. But definitely the build quality is there. Every penny's worth of build quality is in this knife. It is compact. Blade's about, I don't know, I don't have a measuring device on me right now, but it's looking like, I don't know, what, about 3 inches, maybe, give or take. The handle, I don't know, 4 inches. It's not for people with big hands. And I have bigger than average hands. In fact, let's compare the Elementum to the Rat Model 1. Sorry, that blade is gross, ew. This is a comfortable knife, but I'll do a different review on this. This is for, you know, big manly hands like I have. But you can see that the Elementum is substantially smaller than the Ontario Rat 1 in every way. And honestly, if the Elementum was as big as this, but still looked like an Elementum, that would be my perfect dream EDC knife. But they don't have that with the marbled carbon fiber. They don't have it with that that I know of. I haven't seen it, so if I'm an idiot, then you can tell me in the comments. I would love to get one that's a little bit bigger, in like the button lock ones that are a little bit bigger. They have some marbled carbon. That would look really, really nice, I'm telling you. I have a thing for carbon fiber and OD green, as you can see, because almost all my knives are black, OD green, tan, or they have some sort of carbon fiber. Yeah, it's similar to the bug out in quite a few ways. But if you're in the mood for a knife that is simplistic and you know you can't go wrong and you like the aesthetic of it, just get it. Come on, it's been proven. I mean, you can watch a million other videos. I don't need to tell you that. It is a solid design. It's probably, I'm going to go as far as to say that this is the Buck 110 of this generation. Yep, I said it. And I used to own a Buck 110. I'm not a huge lockback guy, but I respect that. That's just a legendary knife. You know, you get one when you're going to scout camp. Dad gives you one to borrow for scout camp. You use it, does everything you need it to. It's a good way to learn knife safety. I know some people aren't going to take knife safety seriously because it's not nearly as serious as, you know, gun safety or, you know, firearm safety. But it's still a factor. Like, you can't go waving these around all over the place. But yeah, I think this is the modern Buck 110. It is so solid, guys. There is no blade play. I'm sorry. This is my first video with, you know, that is kind of legit a review, and I didn't even make any notes. So yeah, I'm just talking off the top of my head or talking out the end of my ass, depending on your view. But the blade centering, this is the most well-centered blade that I've had from any company factory new. Not saying a lot because let's look at the rat. Let's look at the rat one. Okay, yeah. So Civivi's really, really good with that. Their tolerances are on point. The D10 is perfect. Just flies open. Blade centering is amazing. The blade play, there's none. There's no blade play. If you do get blade play, just tune it. Tune the pivot. Maybe I'll do a little video on how to tune your knife. Yeah, like you get a knife, it's brand new. You've heard it might have some blade play issues. Maybe the D10 it has some issues. You can just tune it. Maybe they didn't get it correctly in the factory. Yeah, but man, I can't say enough good stuff about the Elementum. And I'm sure that you've all seen this all over social media and crap like that if you follow any knife accounts. You really need one. You need one in your collection. Not only is it a pretty knife and a gentleman's knife, and comes in many different colors and steels, including jade with the black coated blade. I believe that one is S35 VN. And now that I own one of these, I wish I would have bought that, because I don't have any knives in S35 VN. I'd really, really like to try that out because I've heard only good things. And I'm getting sick of D2 and Oz 8. Oz 8 sucks. I don't like Oz 8. But yeah, it's pretty. It's usable. It's pretty and usable. It's very, very usable. It's got the little lanyard hole down here. I don't ever put lanyards on my knives. But yeah, it's people. A lot of people buy the bug out because it's lightweight and yet it's still usable. This right here is definitely heavier than the bug out. Definitely heavier. But the trade-off is it's way more solid. I would trust this knife with my life if I had to. And I believe the blade stock even is, yeah. The blade stock on the Civivi is definitely thicker. It feels a lot thicker at least. Or it's more thick all the way through. I think the Benchmade kind of tapers down to a point. But yeah, man, guys, just get one. It's only like 60 bucks. I don't care what your wife or girlfriend says. Just get one. Okay? So I'm going to come back and review, I think, these two knives or the Boker Kalashnikov, because I got some things to say about that too. I'll let you figure out if they're good or bad. But yeah, knifeless man is a lifeless man. Nordic proverb by Anonymous. And I will see you in the next review. This has been the Edge Enthusiast.